I constantly have faith that no matter what happens, God's plan will always triumph in the end. And that's a very comforting place to be for now. I feel that faith was something that was instilled by my parents with my upbringing as a Catholic, going to Catholic school and going to Mass on Sundays and the importance of religion. So I think in that aspect, that really was driven by my parents, especially my father having a very strong faith. What is up, Impact Heroes? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rick Ornelas. Thank you for spending some time with us today because we know time's a valuable resource and we're going to make it worth your while. I appreciate each and every one of you, not just for listening, but for who you are. I know you're sparking change to make the world a better place every day, and I am humbled and grateful for your efforts. It takes all of us doing our part to spread positive change, and that's what this show is all about. Motivating you with stories of struggle, courage, and hope to empower you to make a difference in your life and the lives of others.
In case you missed it.
I'm grateful that during the hard times of my divorce, I have a lot of great therapist friends. One of them shared with me two things that I thought were so important. She said, it's not your story to tell, but more importantly, your kids get to experience your humanity right now. And what I took from that was I got to model for my children what grace could look like, but also what pain could look like. And what I continue to do today is I allow people to experience my humanity. I am okay airing my dirty laundry. I think it's in airing my dirty laundry that I get to inspire people to be authentic, to be brave.
Available everywhere you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome back, Impact Heroes, to the latest edition of I Spark Change Through. Now, our goal with these episodes is featuring all the different ways that us and others spark change to make the world a better place through social impact and positive change. We found over the past few years that there are endless ways to positively impact the days of another. The response to this segment has been extremely positive. We've had episodes on sparking change through fitness, adventure, mind, body, spirit, volunteering, mental health awareness, writing, interns, cultural exchange, networking, time, self-care, gratitude, love, purpose, listening, collaboration, mental health awareness, remembering loved ones, constantly learning, the value of hard work, optimism, hugs, and most recently, thankfulness and gratitude. So I have a question on that note. I have a question for you. How do you spark change? One of the ways we spark change here at I Spark Change is through faith. Yes, faith. So what does faith mean to you? Now, the dictionary defines faith in the following ways. One, complete trust or confidence in something or something. What that someone or something can be varied, right? Two, a strong belief in God or the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. So for me, it can simply be defined as an unwavering belief that God always has a plan, and his plan will always be better than mine, and it will always provide the best possible outcome. Meaning, it may not always be what I want, and it may be terrifying or painful or uncomfortable, but it will always end in the result that God wants in my life. Now, that's easy to explain now, and it's something that I've come to accept and I believe wholeheartedly, but that wasn't always the case for me. When I was younger, I was stubborn. I mean, you all should know that if you listen to this program. I mean, I've discussed many times, I was stubborn, arrogant. I thought I was invincible. And I felt that I was in control of my own destiny, right? That it all relied on me. And that's something that I still struggle with to this day. However, I constantly have faith that no matter what happens, right, no matter what can be defined as good or bad in the eyes of this world, that none of that really matters, that God's plan will always triumph in the end. And that's a very comforting place to be for now. Now, as I said, I didn't get there. So I feel that faith was something that was instilled by my father, by my parents, in terms of the religious sense of the word, right? With my upbringing, as a Catholic, going to Catholic school and going to mass on Sundays and the importance of religion. So I think in that aspect, that really was driven by my parents, especially my father having a very strong faith. And that's something I've talked about here in past episodes in terms of where that faith comes from. Now, where my faith has grown over the years has been learning to rely on not myself, learning to rely on God as opposed to myself. And in that, trusting that God is going to show me the way, that God is going to guide my actions, that God is going to guide my words and everything I do. And it now I don't use, because I can hear, some naysayers out there might be saying that, oh, well, that's just an excuse to do whatever you want. And that's not the case, because I still believe in living with a set of morals and having fundamental beliefs that are important to me, to love and to give and serve others, which I've talked about on this show, and to have a life where I am doing my best to do the right thing, to treat others the way that they want to be treated, doing the best to serve others and to improve humanity and spread positive change and make a positive impact on others on a daily basis in whatever capacity that is. If it's in a larger capacity through writing or this podcast that reaches more people, or if it's in a smaller capacity just with someone that I interact with on that day, I'm always trying to do the right thing. And in doing that, I have the faith that God will weave that into his plan in the way that it needs to be. Now, I believe in free will. I believe that, we in that capacity that we, are making choices. I do believe that what a friend of mine referred to, that in God's divine choreography, that there can definitely be some beautiful music and some beautiful dancing in that divine choreography. So I think faith is a very personal experience. I think if you take it out of the context of religion, where sure, we can have faith that there is a God and faith that there is a heaven and faith that, one day we will see our loved ones that have passed on and we'll see them again in heaven, and faith that, God will protect us and all of those things from the religious sense of the words. I think from the greater sense of the word, for me, it's just faith that he's always there. It's faith that he's always a part of everything that I do. And that, I will do my best to make him proud, as you would, being the son or daughter of any parent, right? That you would want to make them proud. So that's how I look at faith. And, I know everyone else's definition could be completely different. And I would love to hear what your definition is and how you see faith. But I think in the capacity that I described it, in that service capacity, in that doing the right thing, in that loving and giving and serving others, I feel that that's the way that I spark change through faith, because that's the way that it positively impacts humanity and makes a difference, which is, by the very definition, how we spark change. So that's all I got for today. Short episode as we celebrate Christmas here in the US and all over the world. And so, I'd love to hear the ways that you spark change in your life. So, and what your faith means to you. So please share them with me on social media. I promise to personally respond to each and every one of you. And thank you for listening today. And we'll see you all next time on the I Spark Change podcast.
Do you want Rick to speak at your event? Here's what others have to say.
Did not know his story, and it was so inspirational, and his presence on stage, his authenticity was just incredible.
Performance made me feel some type of way. My name is Craig Siegel.
If you're looking for a speaker for your next event, hire Rick. I promise you this, you will not be disappointed.
Visit rickcornelis.com to book him today.
Remember, Impact Heroes, every positive action can be a spark moment that has a ripple effect that spreads far beyond the initial act. So go out there and spark change. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, then please smash that 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. We value your comments and we want to hear from you in the community. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and we'll see you next week on the iSpark Change podcast.